All right, so in this video, we're going to talk more specifically about fatigue. Now, fatigue is something that we've mentioned in multiple of the previous videos. It comes into play because it represents the units becoming worn down over time from taking certain actions. Now, you're going to have fatigue levels of 1 and 2, and your units are going to increase in fatigue when you fire or participate in a fire attack. But moving is only going to be concerned with infantry, not with your vehicles. Assault or melee overrun. So those types of actions will cause your units to increase with their fatigue. Now, like I said, there's two types of fatigue. There's the fatigue level 1, fatigue level 2. And when you perform one of those above actions, the unit's going to get marked with a fatigue marker, and it's going to go up if you perform that action or another one of those actions again. So if our infantry squad here had fired or moved, they would be marked as fatigue level 1. If they did another one of those actions, then it would go to fatigue level 2. Now, fatigue level 1 isn't that big of a deal because there are no penalties involved with it. But when they do get to this fatigue level 2, then some penalties start coming into play because the unit is really worn down at that point. Also, if they take another action, one of those ones that I was just mentioning, while at fatigue level 2, then they will become spent and you will remove the fatigue marker. So if this one was at fatigue level 2, they perform another action, we would turn them to signify that they have become spent and remove that fatigue level 2 marker. Now, something to keep in mind when we're talking about this is that there are actions and things that you can do that will remove fatigue or ready a unit, but you can't do those things during the same impulse in which the unit received the fatigue or became spent. So for example, if our unit here became spent due to fatigue and it had a leader with it that had the ready action, you could not use that leader to ready that unit in the exact same impulse that they became spent due to the fatigue. Now, one good thing though is your leaders do not become fatigued, so you don't have to worry about that. But when your units do hit that fatigue level 2 marker, the penalties that are going to be involved is they may not benefit from a leader's modifier, like this little green number 1 on Sergeant Smith here. They do receive a -1 to any of their fire attacks, plus an additional negative -1 to their firepower when conducting a fire attack during an assault. So if they were fatigue level 2, just conducting a fire attack, it's -1. If it's a fire attack as part of an assault, then it's -2. They can't be ordered into melee, and they receive a +1 hit modifier when they're trying to use an ordnance attack, and they can't be ordered to overrun.